As weird as it is to say, the biggest conversation in the NBA recently hasn't been who's going to win the championship or who's going to take home the MVP award. It's all been about the ratings. Why the viewership is down. Is the NBA taking too many threes? And that's something that I've made a full video about, so I'm not going to get into the depths of that. But yesterday's Christmas slate of games might have actually shut up all of that conversation. And that's not only because the NBA delivered its most watched Christmas Day in the last 5 years, with the viewership being up 84% from last year, but it's also because it was just good basketball. Like, these games were all enjoyable, and I'll be completely honest in saying I did not think it was going to be this good. I don't really want to have a negative mindset when it comes to Christmas Day games or really hate on the product before it even happens. And you know what? I do still have my criticisms towards this schedule and the games that we did see, because one of the things that did suck, if we just want to get the negative out of the way first, is the amount of injuries that we saw. It was very unfortunate. Joel Embiid almost, got really hurt before the game even started. I remember seeing the notification before the game started, and I was like, what the hell even happened? Apparently he tripped before the game. But you know what? Embiid stuck through and played that game, so I do want to give him some credit for that, because he doesn't necessarily have the best reputation when it comes to those things. But for like Luka Doncic, I don't actually know his exact status, so I don't know what he's up to right now. Anthony Davis went down. I mean, there were a lot of different injuries, and that was kind of a sucky part. Obviously, that's not like a scheduling error on their end, but I do think there were some teams like the Cavaliers, OKC Thunder, Milwaukee Bucks, some of the up-and-coming teams that we're going to see deeper in the postseason that I would have enjoyed to see them play today. But let me stop being a little bitch and we'll get into the positives, because this video is supposed to be a celebration of the league, a celebration of the games, the players, everything that we just saw. And that all starts with the San Antonio Spurs versus the New York Knicks. Now, my family isn't necessarily full of sports heads or, like basketball heads. So at 9 a.m. when this game starts and we're all eating breakfast and just about to open up presents, these games aren't just like on the TV. No one is sitting there on the couch watching these games. It's something that honestly, is a little frustrating, but that's just what it is. So a lot of these games I have to like go back and re-watch if I really want to know kind of what went down or how the game, went. But there were a lot of moments that I did watch from this one live, like Cat hitting that 1-3 and he started celebrating. Like, bro, you're shooting like 10% from deep. But good Lord, Mikal Bridges. I did not think that on Christmas Day, I knew we were going to see Victor Wembanyama do good, but I had no clue the one guy like opposing him and kind of giving him like the shit would be Mikal Bridges. But you know what? He did that, and I'm very happy to see Victor Wembanyama's performance as well. I think that he was outstanding. In MSG was also really fun. And this really, if the Lakers and Warriors didn't have such a crazy game, which we're going to get into a bit later, this would have been the best game of the night. This would have been by far the most fun, energetic, early morning, first game. It set the tone for the rest of the games that we were going to see that day. So, I mean, this one was just really fun. Also, the Disney stream. I had a lot of fun looking at that stuff and watching some of those moments. Donald Duck was going crazy. Mikal Bridges, if you don't know. And then there's this one clip of Wembanyama's like Disney character falling into the ground and just like disappearing, just disintegrating into thin air. I'll tell you right now, that definitely got some laughs from my family during Christmas time. So yeah, Knicks versus Spurs was a great game, and I'm pretty sure I saw Wembanyama say somewhere that the Knicks didn't win because they played better basketball. So I don't know, maybe there's some fighting words there. If there's one thing the NBA does need, it's a rivalry between Victor Wembanyama and all of New York. But that was a really great game. I think next up you had the Dallas Mavericks versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. One that started out with Luka Doncic going absolutely crazy, but then unfortunately, had his injury and left the game in, I think, crutches. So that's obviously very unfortunate, because you want to see a guy like Luka go crazy on Christmas Day. But I will say this was one of the games that I didn't really pay too much attention to live or rewatching it. I know Kyrie Irving had himself a good game. I did watch some of his moments, but I'm pretty sure that was Ant's first ever Christmas game, so that was really cool, really fun for them to get a win on that day. Then you of course have the 76ers and Boston Celtics, a game that I said myself, we all know the Boston Celtics are going to win it. Now, thank God that not only Joel Embiid played, the entire game here, but Caleb Martin also had himself a night, shooting 9 for 7 from 3, which is just ridiculous. Tyrese Maxey, of course, had himself a good game, as per usual. But Yabusele has been one of the more interesting guys in this team for me. Obviously aside from Jared McCain, who had his injury. I know that Yabusele was in the NBA before, the Dancing Bear and stuff like that. But it does kind of feel like he just had that one big moment in the Olympics, and now he's just in the league. But he's actually making a really big impact. Like, he's obviously not going to be the star of the show, but he has been a huge and amazing pickup for this team. Very underrated acquisition. I don't think many people or enough people talk about him. Also, a little hint towards the entire, like, I wish the NBA brought back Christmas jerseys. The Boston Celtics tried their best with these red accessories, which I don't think they're terrible when it's like an arm or headband, but the leg sleeves, they gotta go. They gotta go. We can't be doing that. I mean, you just look like an elf. You actually look like an elf walking around. So I don't know why the hell they would put that on, especially Jaylen Brown. Like, what are we doing? But you know what? I respect them for trying and actually putting that shit on, and the NBA most likely allowing them to do so. I think it really brought some holiday cheer to the game. So, I mean, as of right now, the first 3 games have all been great. Close games, down to the nail. Even if there was a lead, one team came back. Big games from Kyrie Irving, Wembanyama, Mikal Bridges. You know, all these players, fun games all around. And it comes down to really the biggest game of the night, the one that everybody wanted to see because we haven't seen it since 2018, and that was LeBron James versus Stephen Curry. Now, I actually can't remember if LeBron and Curry went up against each other in 2018. I know that the Warriors and Lakers did, but I can't remember if Curry was out for that game. I don't know. One of the Christmases that they had against each other, I know that Curry wasn't playing, so this was like the 3rd or 4th time that they've been up against each other. They did not disappoint whatsoever, because even though the Lakers had the lead for a majority of the game, you can never say that the game is finished when you're going up against Stephen Curry. The guy is ridiculous, and I had the game on live at this point, you know, near the end of the game. I was sitting down eating my Christmas dinner, watching Steph Curry somehow, some fucking way, come back from a 4-point deficit with like 16 or 20 seconds left in the game. And it's so funny because there was actually a moment that, you know, really clicked in my head. This one time on the JJ Redick and LeBron James podcast where they said, you always foul when your team is up by 3.
I'm in agreement with you. I'm fouling up 3 every single time.
Every single time.
Every single time.
Not only didn't foul when they were up by 4, but also didn't foul when they were up by 3. I mean, this could have been a crucial mistake that lost them the entire game. It would have been history, dude. Oh my, if Steph Curry and the Warriors took this game, that shot would be cemented forever. But they got bailed out, and AR-15 made, you know, the game-winning layup, so congrats to him. I don't know why Andrew Wiggins just completely failed on defense there and let AR just drive right by him, or why Kuminga on God's green earth would stand out of bounds following I forgot even fucking who it was. Rui Hachimura following him out because he's obviously giving space to AR, and Kuminga does not switch to defend the drive, help coverage. Instead, he just stands there like, what are we doing? That was just ridiculous. And you know what? I obviously have no stakes in this game. I'm not a Warriors or a Lakers fan, but for it to end with Austin Reeves getting that shot, that irked me, man. Obviously a great game. I'm not complaining about the game, but goddamn, Austin Reeves, really? So that was obviously a great one. And then probably the biggest stinker of the entire day, and, you know, once again, I'm not trying to complain, but I'm just saying what it is, was the Phoenix Suns versus Denver Nuggets. Now, this was not only kind of boring because the 4th quarter was just like a blowout, and it was like we all knew the Suns were gonna win, but also because it was just kind of like, okay, like, you know, the matchup wasn't really that crazy. There was no Devin Booker. This team doesn't really have much like at stake. I don't know. I just feel like it was such a random matchup to put in here. Like, the Phoenix Suns and Nuggets played 2 days before Christmas already. We already saw a Christmas matchup. These are supposed to be games that are like kind of prime time, kind of fun to watch, you know, because we don't really see them that often. Like, everyone is going to tune in to a Curry and LeBron matchup, even if it's not Christmas, but it doesn't happen all the time. And this one was like, we already saw it 2 games ago. And the Phoenix Suns won it, I guess, without Devin Booker, which made it kind of boring. Anyways, this video is not intended to be negative towards any of these players if I've criticized or talked about them or whatever. Like I said before, this is a celebration of the sport of basketball. The viewership conversation is hopefully kind of dying down if it's not dead already. And the best part is that we just got to watch some good fucking basketball, man. That is really the priority at the end of the day. I said in the last video, why do we all care about the fucking statistics? We're not Adam Silver and, you know, the commissioner's circle. We should not give 2 fucks about who is watching the league. We should care about the product and whether or not the basketball is good. And my God, yesterday it was beautiful. So that being said, let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about this year's Christmas games. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like and subscribe, as that does help out a ton. And yeah, I'll see you guys down in the comments. I read and respond to everyone. All right, later.